it's on there. It's tight. It goes in. So it's not going to fall out. It's tight. So we should be about 0, or maybe just a little bit past 0, like 1/10 press. I had to put it on the taper to make it cheated in there. Okay, so we know we're getting close. Now I'm going to swap out our stone. I'm going to drop to a finer stone. Okay, take the rod, put it up in here. Zero out my dial. These are a little looser on this side. It's about 3/10 difference in clearance now. So this should slip in pretty easy on this side, and it does. See, this when the pin falls out, it's 3/10 looser. Trying to lose my bearings there. Two-tenths. Okay, so we're going to know this is about 0. We're going to give our 9/10 to a thou clearance. So we're going to go to. Okay, so we got 2 stones to go to. We got a real fine stone, and we got our intermediate stone. So usually I go about halfway with this. I'll leave 2 or 3/10 to the end. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing here. Goes pretty quick when you're doing it this way also. Usually get a little bit more cutting pressure the finer it is. You're out of stone. Three-tenths down. About 5, 4 to 5 down. And about 4. A little bit of taper on it. Okay, the stone's so worn down, there's nothing left. So it's too far down. So I'm going to switch over to the fine stone, which is a lot thicker, so I got some material to work with. Just have to hunt a little bit more. It just takes longer when you got less to work with. Down. About 5 on average. Extra. Equalized out. 6 now. About 8, but it's hot. About 7, a little cooler. Come back in here, do it again. Okay. 9.5. About 8.5. Getting close, but they are a little warm still. Peel them off. Pretty cool. Just has a little heat in it still. You want to get it back to room temperature. If everything's at one temperature, the numbers are accurate. It's now between 7 and 8 now. Let's show the temp. So 9.5. Got 8 on the outside, a little bit of taper in it. That way, that way. So I want it twice on this side to take the taper out, hopefully. 10 right now. Gotta cool it off, get down to room temperature again. On the outside. Pretty much 10 also. About that much difference. This one here. I'll show it now. Drop the pressure back a little bit. Kind of digging in pretty heavy here. Feel it. Cool it some more. Thicker rod holds more heat. Feel good. That's 9-10 on that one. About 8 on that one side, it's a little tapered. 9.5, 10. Cool down. Ten. Okay, those are all at 10. Let's Get rid of the bearings over here. Take your bearings. You can hold one set like this, you flip it over. You get the other set on there. They don't fall out. Run your crank pin. Take your rods. Put them together how you honed them. And stick the bearings in there. Like that. And you feel them. You want to feel some clearance in them. It's really hard to feel clearance though because we don't have much to work with here. Okay, they feel a little bit tight for what I want. We'll probably wind up honing them out another 1/10 or so, at least. 45s run really, really hot, so you got to give them clearance. If you don't give them clearance, they're going to stick. So, better be loose and tight. So I'll probably give them another 1/10 or 2/10, probably 2/10. So basically, we had our coarse stone here, we went to an intermediate stone, and we went to our fine stone. So it's like honing a pin in a car. You start out with a 180 grit, you go to 300 grit, and you go to 500 grit, or it's more like 5,000 and 2,000, but whatever, same difference. You go into a finer grit. So it turns nice and freely in here. It slides real nice and easy, so you don't have to worry about it sticking. If it won't slide, it's tight. So it's in there really good. It's hard to feel the clearance because it's hard to hold on to it. So when you jam this rod and go this way at 90 degrees, you can kind of feel a little bit, but the oil is taking up a lot of the gap, so it makes it hard to see. But anyway, that's what it does. So that'll come right out. So it slides around. Slides right out. The bearings obviously slide out. Of course, they're going to make a big mess now. See, those ones came out, so they're going to make a mess. Yep, dropped a whole bunch of them. Flip around. So I lost a few of those. I'll put them back in there so I can check this again here in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 more tenths clearance. I know it's got good clearance. So there's what the rods look like. They're pretty fine. I don't know if you can see how fine they are, but they're pretty shiny. When they're clean, they shine up really nice. And here's our number over here. We're going for 1, which is 10,000. We're going for 1 is 10 tenths, which is 1/1000. So once you're on there, you rotate your rod back and forth, and you want the dial to stay put. So this one here that's 10 right there, and it drops down about a 1/2 tenth. Now a lot of that's because how I'm pushing on the dial. See, I can move the dial just like that, just by wiggling it. See, 1/2 tenth, that's a wiggle. Just doing this will change it 1/2 tenth. So as you're rotating the rod, we're changing the number. You can see how this one here is at 1. See, it's staying right there, pretty much about 1. Even though I'm rotating about 45 degrees there, or 90 degrees almost, it's staying the same number. That means it's pretty damn round. And you go like this, and you do the same thing. And see, you're right there in that 1 again, basically, which is 10. So until you jerk it around. So anyway, that's how you do them. So they're really, really accurate. So I'm going to give them, I think, a couple more tenths. I'll check it one more time, make sure I want to do that, and I'll do it. But yeah, that's how you do it. So I'll clean them all up, get all this oil off everything, and then we'll pack them up and get them out of here. So that's how you do it. Even though I don't have all the right tools, I do have the tools I need to make a job correct. And this is how I used to do it back in the old days, so before I got on fancy machining stuff. So, alright, that's it for now. I'm going to get it all cleaned up. We'll be back later. Alright, got everything all cleaned up. So you can see the hone marks in there now, they're pretty fine. Nice cross hatch going in there, nice and smooth. They measure good. I honed it out to 2/10 or 12/10, which might only be a thou because it might have been a, when I pushed the crank pin initially in the bearings, it might have only been 0 or it might have been -2. It's hard to tell. Don't have a really good idea of measuring. They still feel a little tight to me, but I don't want to make them too loose. So anyway, so you take the pin. What I did is I checked them individually. So I just got the male bearings. And you put the male rod on there. Like that. Put it in the middle where it works. And you can see the rod movement. You can also hear it. I don't know if you can see the rod actually moving, but so you look up the very top, you get some decent clearance. Not a lot, but alright. On a 45, that's a little snug, I think. So I checked the female rod the same way, and it's now obviously it's about half the clearance feeling because it's twice the width. So the ash is going to feel like it's more, or less, I mean. So this one here, I'll put the whole setup on there. You can individually check each rod also, or just put it all together in one. Slips together pretty easy, so you know it's not real tight. It's definitely you don't want to be tight. So I don't know if you can see the rod movement, but it's not much. And this one here, you can hear it and see it. So it's the same clearance on both, it just, when it's a lot wider, it's a lot less clearance feeling. So it has some in there, but not a lot. So if you break the motor in correctly, give it some, 500 miles of easy riding, should be fine. You're going to take out, run the snot out right from the get-go, then I'd say loosen up some more. So, I think this guy's going to break it in correctly, so should be alright. So that's what it looks like. That's how you do it. So even though I don't have quite the tools like I had at the other shop, you can still do a good job. I always go by feel anyway. It doesn't matter what it measures. If it feels good, you run it. If it doesn't feel good, you do something more. I don't care what the dials and stuff say. I don't agree with the dials at times. I always agree with feel. Alright, these are ready to go back to customer. So, only took 3 months since I did it. Maybe 4 months. I don't remember. So, anyway, it's done right. That's all that matters. Alright, that's it for this one.